Nerd Takes, coming at you with another episode. I'm John.
Justin.
Andrew.
Hey, we're back, and we are tasting Hirsch Selected Whiskeys, Cask Strength Bourbon finished in Cognac casks. Yes, that is the full name of this one. Distillery is the Hirsch Distillers in Bardstown, Kentucky. And the summary from the website, there's a lot of information here. The Cask Strength Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey is an exclusive Hirsch release finished in 30-year-old Hein Cognac XO barrels in Bardstown, Kentucky. It's rich, complex, and well-rounded whiskey. This expression was brought from a collaboration between Hirsch Selected Whiskeys and Hein Cognac. Goes on to say, and I got all this from the website, about Hein Cognac, internationally acclaimed for its blends, vintage, and extra old cognacs, the 259-year-old Cognac House takes pride in its unequaled collection of exceptional cognac dating back to the 1800s. For us at Hirsch, this is a unique collaboration with one of the most prestigious cognac distilleries. A little bit more about this release. There were 54 barrels that were selected of the 6-year-old bourbon, and they were finished in 30-year-old XO Hein Cognac casks for 18 months.
Can I, before we start getting into the tasting part of it, can I ask, is anybody like cognac aficionados here?
No.
Not aficionado, but I've had cognac.
You have, okay.
I think I might have had it.
So I've had it before. So like, what do you think of? Sorry, this is off the cuff, but I'm curious.
No, it's
like
fine.
when you mention cognac, like what is cognac supposed to taste like?
I mean, it's a brown liquor, there are similarities, I think, between whiskey and cognac. For me, cognac has, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a different flavor. It's like,
I feel like it's like almost like it's like richer. It's like thicker.
yeah,
It's definitely sweet. It's very, very sweet.
I feel like, yeah, it's definitely sweeter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if molasses is the right word, but it's definitely like maybe like more honey forward. I feel like it's just a very sweet liqueur.
I don't know enough.
It's definitely
about,
a liquor.
Yeah,
I think it's a liquor, but I don't know enough about the distillation process. But I feel like the roots in the wine industry come out more. I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah.
In cognac versus in bourbon, it's got its roots in the whiskey industry. So just the difference in your distillate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a word. Like that to me, that makes the big difference in the actual liquor.
I thought it was worth bringing up or try something that's in finished in a cognac cask. Like, what are some flavor profiles you would expect to get, and are we going to actually get that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it does come from wine. Doing some quick research, and this is what Google says. Cognac has many different flavors, but it can be dry, sweet, spicy, fruity, or bitter. It all depends on what cognac you're tasting.
Mm-hmm.
Younger cognacs tend to be sweeter, and older ones tend to be drier and spicier.
Okay.
All right. Well,
So this one is
It's a 30-year.
it's a
cognac.
30-year.
I mean,
They
it's
spent
no joke.
18 months in 30-year-old XO Hein Cognac barrels, adding some subtle yet noticeable character of cognac to the bourbon. So this has a mash bill. So the proof is 127. It's got a mash bill of 72% corn, 13% rye, 15% malted barley. And as I said, it's 6 years old, but then the total age is 7.5 years because it spends 18 months in the barrels, and the MSRP is $200.
well, I'll just start with what I'm getting from the nose. I am getting bananas.
You and your damn bananas.
I love bananas, and I think whenever we have dried fruit, I think bananas for some reason. I know it's not dried fruit, but like I just think there's a lot of similarities there. But it's just got like
It's got some sweetness on there.
I mean,
though.
I can
got
smell the
sweet
cognac
for sure.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I smell the cognac on the bourbon.
But it's almost got like a sweety, nutty flavor to it, which is I think maybe why I'm throwing out bananas. I think that sometimes you get that.
It does have a few notes from the website. Very, very few. So I can start diving in those. It didn't give anything on color, so I don't know. Pick your
Amber.
Honey.
sure,
Amber.
whatever it's going to call it. Yeah, whatever word you want. Use it. Pick a descriptor. Nose. Are we ready for?
Mm-hmm.
So this is all it's got. It's very limited. Dusty cherry and charred citrus.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing. Oh, I should point out that our friend of the show, Pat, has actually tried this. A buddy of his brought this over to his house. This was a while ago. Fresh crack, and he suggested that when we do try it, let it breathe. So this was not a fresh crack. It's been open for about 2.5 hours. So just kind of sitting on the table, letting it breathe. So it's not a fresh crack. So hopefully that does change it a little bit.
Are we on to palate?
That's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think with the flavor, like it is very hot.
It's super hot.
And it's hot, not
Yeah, it
necessarily
is.
on the tongue, but like as soon as it gets to like the back part of your mouth, it is like a full like explosion of just
Mm-hmm.
heat.
Yeah,
and
it's
warmth.
definitely hot on the tip of the tongue, just a little bit. But yeah, it's right there in the throat.
And I don't think that's necessarily taken away from it. I just think that it is it's drinking like it's close to 130 proof. Like
And
I wouldn't, which is,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
which is
saying
what
the
it
proof
is,
is
yeah.
pretty close to like how it tastes.
Yeah.
I just add a little bit of water to it because I couldn't really get anything besides just like straight up sugar, brown sugar, caramel, not even caramel, honestly, more vanilla. So now add a little bit of water to it. I don't know, Andrew, what do you got?
I got stone fruit, so cherries, whatever on the second. I mean, the first sip was just hot. Like it was just heat. The second sip, I got more stone fruit. I got a little bit of your typical bourbon, caramel, vanilla, charred oak, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
It's got a decently long. I mean, I know we're not talking about finish yet, but it's got a decently long finish.
we can talk about finish. That's what, I mean, palate kind of rolls into finish
Yeah.
naturally, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's almost like tapioca. Like it's got like a lot of vanilla going on here. Creme brulee. I can't really tell if that's like the char or if that's the cognac talking there, but there's a lot of like brown sugar, like baked sugar flavor for me. And again, I think it's because the mixture of the hot and the sweetness. Because the hot, in this instance, like the hot actually overtakes the sweetness a little bit.
It does, especially at the end. Yeah,
Definitely at the end. Oh, at the end, it's just nothing but
it's all heat.
deep warmth.
Yeah, the water does mute that a
Little bit.
though.
At least on the initial taste. But now that I'm sitting here waiting, I'm getting a very, very like resurgence of just
Heat.
warmth and heat. I mean, I'm not saying I dislike it, but it is, yeah, it's pretty hot.
So I just added water. I get cinnamon now towards the finish, not all the way through, but I get cinnamon now and
Hot.
hot.
Hot. So
Yeah.
on the palate, we have the overripe stone fruit,
Good job.
fresh raisin, which is actually kind of what I was thinking.
Okay,
of. I'm
I can see
cheating
that.
so I can read this, and then it says soft heat, but it's lying.
On the
Also
palate.
on the palate,
What does it
it's
say
saying
on the finish?
Finish. It's again. This is very limited. I kind of had to break this up. Dry flavors continue to develop.
Okay.
So
Sorry, it
long-
says dry,
longish-
yet
longish
flavors
finish.
continue to develop. So it's a dry finish, which again,
I
that
It
tracks.
tracks.
Dry heat.
And yeah, it's a dry heat. It's like Vegas.
Arizona.
Justin, what do you got? What are your thoughts on this one? This is a very unique taste to it.
This is different.
Yeah.
Very different.
I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going to land on this one. I like sweet. I have a well-developed sweet tooth. So like it starts really good, but it's similar to the last one that we had where it started sweet and kind of ended hot, but I liked that. It's too hot. And you said it overtakes. And that's exactly to a point where I'm like, I even kind of feel it burning, in different, because I switch it around. That comes from like kind of the wine stuff that I've done, and I'm like, it kind of hits in the gums and even on the back of the lips. And I'm like, yeah. Now, what I do like, I'm not a cognac expert by any means, but every cognac I've ever had, I've really enjoyed, and I do get that flavor at the beginning, and I really, really enjoy that.
All right.
Yeah, and we've talked about. I've only owned 1 or 2 bottles of Hirsch, and they've always been like super high proof.
Yeah.
And they drink very high proof.
Just as high, yeah.
So I feel like we're getting kind of a mixture of maybe like what their shtick is, but also with the added cognac, it almost mutes it a little bit. Actually, that's not even true. It doesn't really mute the heat.
It doesn't really
heatness
mute it at all.
The heat at all, but it does add like an additional like layer of like sweetness to it.
You get some more flavor as a result of the
sure.
finishing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like the finish is still.
I mean, the whatever it was, the barrel strength or cask strength Hirsch that we had
that
before
was over 130.
was just
It was
all
pure
heat.
heat.
That's all it was. Like,
Yeah.
it could have told me any flavor notes, and I would have said
It
it
was-
just tastes like charcoal or fire.
It was
Like,
jet fuel. Like put it in your
Yeah.
car and use it as gasoline.
But this has a little bit more to it. So like for
totally
that,
does,
I think
yeah.
this is actually I like the marriage here of cognac. I think that was actually a really wise choice on their part to pick that kind of whiskey or not whiskey liquor to finish the barrel. And I think
Yep.
if you finish this in something else you could maybe do a honey barrel with something like this too. I think that would probably be pretty good.
You just need something to tame
Gonna
it.
focus on something that's super sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Ratings.
Ratings. Want me to go first?
Sure, go 1st
Okay. So I'm gonna go. This is gonna sound harsh. It's actually not that harsh. So I'm just gonna go with with Hothluke. And I think that's a fairly reasonable score. I think I would come back to this and I drink. I'd like to see how it maybe opens up with time. And I like hot stuff, but I also like hot things that have a little bit more of a depth of flavor to it.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's good. I don't know if it's worth the money, but I think it is definitely worth trying. And 6.
Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I think that feels right. I like hot stuff too, but this is kind of, it's not just hot. I think they did a great job adding the layer of cognac. But for me, especially for the money, like this is solidly a 6, shading down towards a 5 probably. I wouldn't buy this. Having tried it, I wouldn't buy it. I'd drink it.
Well,
But I just wouldn't buy it.
Well, haven't bought it. I'm going to give it Force Ghost.
Yeah. Okay.
Buyer's remorse.
I'll give it a 5.
Yeah.
Again, we'll see how it develops over time. Again, all of these are fresh cracks. We've talked about that numerous times where things can get better, and in some cases, things can get worse after you open them up and give them a little too much time. But yeah, I mean, are there aspects of this I enjoy? Absolutely. Are there aspects of this that I do not enjoy? Yeah. So I'm going to give it right in the middle.
Yeah, and I think that if this was a $50 bottle or even an $80 bottle,
It's different.
I think I'm
changes
moving that
the
up
math.
a couple numbers.
Sure.
It's totally
Sure,
changes
sure.
the
I
math,
think that
yep.
the fact that it's $200,
Yep.
that's a tough sell.
Yep.
So, what would be a 5.5? Are we like just
Wow.
all day seeing Force Ghosts? I'm just saying, he's about to see Force Ghost Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a working title.
A Force
Okay.
Ghost.
I just want to know because I almost went with that, but I couldn't think of a good title for it, so I decided to go with the 6.
A snow ghost.
Snow Ghosts.
A snow ghost.
All day I dream about ghosts. Okay,
Jedi Force Ghost.
we'll work on this for the next time.
Yeah. Well, we got to come up with a good 5.5.
Justin, what's your rating?
I'd probably straight 5. I don't think this is the worst thing I've ever tasted on your show. And I think it tastes even better that
Appreciate that.
I didn't pay for it.
Sure.
But I'm with you, Andrew. I would not buy this.
Nope.
And I would regret it if I did. So sorry, John.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
He's fine.
I'll live.
Yeah, he can afford dinner tonight. Well,
All right.
that was fun though.
That was it. So, Hirsch Cask Strength Bourbon Finish and Cognac. I mean, approach at your own risk.
Yeah.
It could be your jam.
If you like cognac,
if you like
give it a
cognac,
try.
it could be. If you like heat, it's definitely your jam. See what happens in a few months after this opens up. Maybe we'll definitely maybe we come back to it and see what happens. But yeah,
I hate to say, but maybe on ice.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
On ice,
it
that
hurts
might
me
not
to
be
say
bad.
that, but on the rocks.
On the
maybe.
rocks?
Nice having you.
I
Andrew.
know, right? Like I wouldn't be my first choice, but
Till
there
next
you go.
time.
Nerd
Thanks,
takes.
everybody.
Nerd takes.